Welcome back to the King's Corner, the place for all things Bethesda. I am the KingFanMan, and this is the KingCast, the live podcast where we do cover all things Bethesda, mostly BGS, that's Bethesda Game Studios, your favorite games like Fallout, The Elder Scrolls, and now Starfield. And yes, we're going to be talking, of course, mainly Starfield today, mostly Starfield, almost all Starfield. We're going to talk about the review scores, and then I'm going to give you 20 essential tips if you're starting out in Starfield. And I'm going to make it non-spoilery, so if spoilery is a word. So I'm going to give a minute just for a few more people to jump in, and we're going to get on those. So I'm going to start out with the review scores. The review scores for Starfield have been all over the place. Now, I have put several hours now in. I don't even know what my hour meter is. Probably, goodness, I would say 20, 30 hours, I guess. Hey, Seth. Hey, Dale. Hey, Voltec Spy. Good to have y'all here. And I'm loving the game. There is a very large learning curve to the game. It takes a while to get into the game. That's why I think these tips are essential. A lot of y'all are probably already playing because early access is here. Some of y'all may not be playing. That's why I'm going to make these to be non-spoilers. Hey, Queen, how's it going? But the review scores are kind of crazy if y'all have been paying attention. Just listen to these scores. Game Rant gives the game a 100. Game Radar gives it a 100. Gaming Bolt gives it a 100. The Washington Post gives it a 100. That's 100 out of 100, okay? Which is crazy. I don't know how anything can get a perfect 10. But anyway, then Screen Rant gives it a 90. Video Gamer gives it a 90. Gaming Trends gives it a 90. And I could give all kinds of other places that give it around a 90. Then you go down a little bit more. Game Informer gives it an 85. There's several that give it that. Then you go down a little bit more. PC Gamer gives it a 75. Then you go down one more. And this is kind of the last tier. You've got Gaming Spot, IGN, PC Game In, and several that give it a 70. Now, by the way, that IGN is one IGN guy. That's IGN America. There are several IGNs that gave it a perfect 10. But anyway, they gave it a 70. So the review scores are all over the place. Some of the reviews that are lower, I believe, is because it's so hard to learn at times. It's so much deeper into the RPG, so much more to do, so much more in the menu, so much more that it doesn't tell you. So that's why I think if you want to, these tip videos are so much more important, unless you just want to kind of hunt and peck for yourself, which is fine too. The Metacritic score hits right in the middle. It's at an 88 for PC, 87 for Xbox, which is pretty good. I would probably give it around a 92, somewhere in there, if I was rating it right now. But I don't think I have even, at 20 or 30 hours, I do not think I have even skimmed the surface of this game. This game is huge. This game is humongous. And now I'm understanding. Hey, Montana Bible Believer, what's going on? Now I understand what Todd Howard was saying. You know, if there's something about the game that you don't like, then there's 5 other games within this game that there is something you'll like. And that is so true. If you don't like the spaceship stuff, there's really a way to avoid it mostly. You can do fast traveling. Now, early on during the tutorials, you'll have to do some space combat, but there's ways to avoid most of the parts of the game that you don't like. So I would love to hear from some that have played early access what you think about the review scores. The ones that gave it the 100 and the 70, I think those are way too extreme. I think we can throw those out. Normally you can throw the ones on the extreme out, which is why I think we're hitting that around that 90 mark, which is great, by the way, for a video game. 90 is not a disappointment at all. 90 to 95, if they can, with Metacritic hovering around 88 right now, um, which by the way, I think will continue to go up a little bit. If it can continue to do that, that is very, very good. All right, let me read some. Queen says, hey, everyone. We are so glad you're here. Give us a like and a share. Yes, the Queen, thank you for being here. Dawn, hey, how's it going? So far, it's on the same level as Fallout 4, but it doesn't draw you in as much, though. It doesn't at first. Again, the first part of the game, I think it's the learning curve. I really do. I'm getting drawn in more the more I play it. Now I know what Pete Hines was talking about. Now I'm understanding. He says the game didn't really start until after the main quest is over. I'm understanding that more now. I mean, I'm really glad they gave the reviewers 2 weeks. Some of the reviewers that gave it a 70, I bet didn't play it very much. I really believe that. I really believe that. The building your spaceship is fantastic. Everything is a little bit hard at first until you learn it, and then it's a lot of fun. Then it's a lot of fun. Um, okay, we're going to get to the Starfield tips, the essential tips in just a minute. 20 essential tips when our numbers get up just a little bit more. I do want to tell you about an interesting interview that Pete Hines gave. It was very, very cool. He talked about a bug that they actually left in the game. I don't think this is a spoiler since Pete Hines actually talked about it. But it's kind of cool. He thought it was so cool that it happens randomly. It may not happen in your game because it just happens sometimes. But what happens is at Neon, there's a lot of vicious fish in the water at Neon, obviously, because this is a city that is built on the water. Well, one of the bugs, which is not really a bug, but one of the things that would happen is one of the sharks or one of the big mean fish would actually get on the elevator at the bottom level and would go up into the city and come out of the elevator, and all the citizens would start screaming. And one of the developers says, we have to leave that in. We cannot make it where the fish can't do that. That's just too funny. So I thought that was great. Yes, the more you put in, the more you get out. See, Todd Howard says that the more you give to Starfield, the more Starfield gives. That is so true. Starfield is hard. It's hard to get into. It really is. It don't just grab a hold of you. It's really hard. It's slow. It's a kind of a slow grind getting into. But the more you put into it, man, it just really starts to open up. But to me, it was after that 15 hour it was 15 to 20 hours, and some people don't like to put that many hours into a game, which all of us Bethesda guys do. One other note I want to give you out of that Pete Hines interview, and then we'll go to the tips, because I'm going to leave this a little bit shorter KingCast today, unless y'all just have a lot of talking y'all want to do, because I've got to get to Starfield so I can put out more Starfield content. I thought this was interesting. I know most of us here are not playing Redfall. We may never do. But he said that Bethesda and Arcane are committed to Redfall. Hey, sassy lady, good to see you. Vic, what's going on? I'm so glad y'all are here. They are committed to Redfall, and they are committed to making it a great game. So I thought that was interesting from the Pete Hines interview. Yeah, y'all missed the story about the sharks getting on the elevator at Neon. So y'all missed the whole best part of the podcast. No, we were talking about the review scores that Starfield is getting. It's all over the map from 100 down to 70, or from 10 to 7, which is crazy. Metacritic now is about an 88. I think, my opinion, if I was having to give one right now, and I don't think I'm qualified yet, I've only got about a little over 20 hours. I would put it about a little over a 90. Because again, it takes a lot to get into Starfield. That's why I wanted to give y'all these 20 tips. And some of these, you'll probably go, well, duh, but they are so much more important in Starfield than they were for Skyrim or Fallout 4 or any of those other games. Okay. All right. Are y'all ready for the 20 essential Starfield tips? And I'm not going to make them spoilers. I'm not going to spoil it for you. I don't want to spoil anything. I just want to help you out. A lot of these, Pete Hines has said something kind of like, but some of these is from my own experience from what I've put in the last few days. It is a very slow grab. It is. It really is. It starts to open up more and more. Again, Pete Hines says the game don't really get going until after the main quest, which I'm understanding now. It's crazy. It does take a while. I think it's the learning curve, though. There is so much. I mean, this game is so humongous. There is so many menus, so many things to learn. And you know how Bethesda Game Studios game is. They do not tell you how to do everything. You have to learn it. So, okay, here we go. And y'all, please, as with any KingCast, it is a subscriber-driven podcast. So y'all ask any question, y'all make any comment, and I will do my very best to answer it. But here are the 20 essential tips that I thought you needed to know that I wished I knew before I started. And just like any Bethesda Game Studios game, I want to start a new character already, but I'm going to make myself not. Okay, number one, and Pete Hines said this, and I'm going to double down on it because this is so important. It has never been more important in any game that you've ever played, especially a BGS game. Traits are so important early. Really, really, really think about your traits before you do them. Now, we're going to talk about traits more as we go through these tips, but I'm telling you, every time you level up, it's just like Skyrim. You'll get one skill point. You'll get to put it on to something, just kind of like Fallout 4 was as well, but it's more like the Skyrim chart. But it's so important. Don't do it like you have off past games, which I started out doing. And I also did it trying to build my character's backstory as well. That's not good either. You kind of got to think about um, playing a low level character, what you're going to be doing first, what's coming up next. Again, remember there are 5 games within a game. So are you going to be doing space battling? Are you going to be doing, settlement building? Are you going to be doing combat? What are you going to be doing? Are you going to be doing persuasion? We'll talk about traits more in just a minute. Hey, Seth. Seth says, I think I have only done a few main missions and have been doing the side content the rest of the time. Don't miss the activities. They are very good. DeMar says, slow grab. I'm only level 7 so far. Haven't been able to play much, but does it really grab you later? Yes, yes. The more you play, the more it grabs you. It does. Absolutely. The more familiar you get with menus, how it works, you're like, oh, when you get something, it's like a light comes on. It's like, oh, I want to do it more now. It gets exciting. It gets more exciting. Yes. Because early on, there are things that I literally want to avoid. I've never wanted to, I have never wanted to rage quit a BGS game before until Starfield. Starfield literally made me almost want to rage quit. What level am I? Oh gosh. I wish you wouldn't have asked me. I got to get my memory here. 20, 20, 20 something around there. 18, right at 20, somewhere right at 20. Vic, who asked me? Level 6. No, I'm right up there. I think level 18. Vic says the story also gets more compelling the further you progress. Absolutely, yes. Um, um, well, I was going to tell you something else, but I'm not going to spoil that for you. So, okay. Tip number 2. We'll talk about traits more in just a minute. Tip number 2: buy ammo and do it early. I remember this in Fallout 4. It was making ammo. You needed to make ammo. In this game, you needed to buy ammo and buy it early. Ammo has zero mass in this game. So, yay, Bethesda, thank you for that. And by the way, don't pick up everything. This is not Fallout 4. You may need it later in the game when we're settlement building, but we're going to talk about why you don't pick up everything. But I learned that after the first mission. Man, I was picking up everything. I'm used to Fallout 76 where I have a scrap box and I can scrap it, or Fallout 4 where you have an endless box back at your camp. Don't do that in Starfield because you'll be overweight. Like, I can't even do it like that. You'll be overweight instantly. So don't pick up everything. We'll talk about what to sell, where to sell, and all that in just a minute. Okay. Don't be a hoarder in Starfield. Your mass is your weight, your mass is very important in this game. But ammo, if you don't buy ammo, if you're just looking to pick up ammo, another tip on ammo, especially if you're getting low, use a weapon that has the same ammo type that you're battling against. In other words, if you're going against a spacer and they're using 7.77 millimeter ammo or 6.5, whatever it may be, switch to that weapon. That way, everything they drop has that ammo. Just that's a little tip. That's something I did in Fallout as well. Okay, in this game, especially early, this is kind of yes, I am a hoarder in real life, my queen. I am. Sassy lady says, "Oh, my hoarder self won't be able to play." Dane says, "I like the research element to unlock stuff." Yes. And Jeremy says there is Vasco you can give stuff to. Yes, use your person to give stuff to. Absolutely. Yes, just like Lydia in Elder Scrolls. Yes. I'm sworn to carry your burdens. Yeah, absolutely. Um, Features. Speaking of crafting and researching stuff, a lot early on. This is another one of those things talking about it opening up later. A lot of the features of Starfield are locked early on behind skills or traits. This goes back to the traits, okay? You'll find in researching things, you cannot research certain things unless you have certain traits. So again, pick your traits wisely. Um, I don't want to tell y'all what to pick. There's a lot of videos out there and a lot of people that are giving advice on that. I will tell you some that are important. How about that? I think persuasion is important. I think Pete Hines even said that your boost pack is very important. I wouldn't do that first, but it's important. If you're going to do a lot of ship flying, the targeting system is important. That's like VATS for your spaceship. Stealth is important if you want to be a stealth build. Theft is important if you want to do a lot of hacking, lock picking, and stuff. So those are just a few. And by the way, this is something I learned as well. I love the persuasion thing, the system in this, and we could have a whole video on persuasion. I don't know how many of y'all played Oblivion, but this goes back to kind of the Oblivion game. You really have to slow down and listen when you're trying to persuade someone in this game. You've got to listen to the flow of the conversation. Don't just watch whether the color's red, yellow, or green, and how many points is there and all that. That's the way it used to do on a Bethesda game. They're still there, the colors and all that's still there. But the persuasion goes along with how your person is talking. In other words, if they have if you think a joke might work, if it sounds like the flow of the conversation would be a joke, and you'll hear it. I mean, if you just listen to it like a conversation, it's like, oh, a joke would work perfect right there. Now, of course, I always think a joke will work, and my wife does not. So I make her mad all the time. So my persuasion skills are not good at home. Hi, Queen. I love you. But you'll learn that quick. So don't just always do, what's green or what looks easy, because it won't. And then also, if you do put your traits to persuasion or to the hacking skills, use the auto persuasion. Those work really well. Use your auto hacks. Those work really well to open locks. And oh yes, so don't forget those. There's another tip. Let's talk ship flying for just a minute. This is something that gets a lot of people early on. You will have to do some ship flying and ship combat early on, tutorial stuff, but you can avoid it if you want to, pretty much in the game. There's some story stuff where you can, but if you want to avoid it, you can pretty much avoid it by fast traveling. If you get in your ship and you immediately go to the menu and fast travel, nobody's going to attack you, okay? So if you don't want to fight and do all the dog fighting and all that, you can pretty much get away from it, because it's another thing to learn, and it is intense, and it is totally different than any BGS game you've ever played, okay? So just remember that. Hit your menu really quick and fast travel if you don't want to do that. Okay, this is a huge tip, guys. Wherever you are, whether you're in your ship, whether you're on a planet, whether you're in a cave, use your scanner all the time. Use it all the time. And there's a reason. Well, there's hundreds of reasons. Not hundreds, not literally, but there's lots of reasons. You can fast travel from your scanner, which I didn't know until recently. Again, Bethesda don't tell you any of this stuff. It will show you so many things, and it will give you XP. If just scanning planets, by the way, from your ship gives you XP. I mean, maybe you're not even going to land on it. Just scan a planet and it will give you XP. It'll help you level up. But when you're on a planet, scanning shows all kinds of things. It shows you what kind of animals are there, and it shows you animals that you can't see with your eyes. It shows you what kind of metals and rocks and things are there, what kind of flora and fauna that are there. It also shows enemies that you can't see with your human eyes. And it shows you enemies you've already taken out that you may want to go loot. So, I mean, the scanner is so important. Use the scanner. One other thing it will show you, I didn't know, if you hit it twice, it will actually light up little arrows. I mean, talk about a cheat. It will light up little arrows that show you a path to your next mark point. So isn't that cool? Yes. So scan. If you want to make the game a lot easier, use that scanner. And by the way, you can go back and forth from your scanner to your weapon with one button. It's so easy. So easy. Bethesda made that so easy. My queen's sounding off, and she's rolling her eyes. She says, "No jokes. No jokes targeting me. I don't target. I'm laughing with you." or others do not work. Jokes are hilarious, making them about me or others no. Hey, Maddie Grace, what's going on? So constantly scan. That's very, very, very important. Okay. Tip number 7, cities. These are definitely the biggest cities that Bethesda Game Studios has ever made. They're huge, but they're also very spaced out. They're different than Bethesda cities have ever been, uh, and things are very hard to find. Don't dig a hole, King. I always do. I always get in trouble, and I make it worse. See, it was just a joke, and I made it worse. Um, the cities are the shops are very hard to find. Read the signs. Is that a easy tip? Is that a dumb tip? Read the signs. Duh. But there's also a yellow information kiosk in every major city. And I'm about to sneeze. Uh, you can go to it and find the information about where you're wanting to be, uh, whether it's a certain kind of shop, uh, whatever it may be. It will point you in the right direction. And also remember, if it's a mission you're on, what do you hit? Your scanner. If you ever get lost, hit that scanner. Um, you'll definitely want to use your quick menu on this one. I had a little hard time figuring out the quick menu. The menus are, oh man, there's so many menus in this game. But as with any Bethesda Game Studios games, you can equip more than one weapon, and you'll definitely want to do that, especially early on. So use those quick slots menu. And by the way, I can help you on whatever you're playing. If you're using a controller or a keyboard, I can help you on that. Let's see. Oh, this one's cool, and I think you've heard this before. Uh, and I didn't do this at first, but I really like it. You can hide your spacesuit and your helmet when in safe areas. So in other words, you don't have to. And bless you, thank you. Um, at the first of the game, every time I got into a city that you could breathe in or inside, I would go in my menu, I would take off my spacesuit, and I'd take off my helmet. I'd go through this process, and I'd have to remember put it back on. But there's a simple thing that all you have to do is hit this little button that says hide your spacesuit and helmet when you're in safe areas. So that means as soon as you get into your ship, your helmet will come off. Uh, and I got my little ball cap on. And same way, when you get into the city or when you get into the lodge or wherever you're at, your spacesuit will come off and you'll be in your plain clothes. So that is a really cool feature that they put in there. So you don't have to go in the menu and again, it's little things that make it so much easier. Okay, here's one of the reasons you don't want to pick up everything. Okay, and this was the same way it was in Fallout 4, but we learned it the hard way. You know how things when you see it, it says value 175 credits, and you think, yeah, I'm gonna make some money on that, and you take it back to the vendor, and he offers you 5 credits for it. Well, it's the same way here. You'll find that you pick up all this stuff that you think is worth a lot of money, and you get to the vendor and it's not worth anything. Well, that's because at the start of the game, they're only paying you about 10% of the value. You've got to build up your trait if that's what you want, obviously. And remember, it's not just putting trait points. You actually have to use whatever you're doing. Again, you can't just put trait points toward uh, buying and selling. You have to buy and sell stuff to get there. It was like making iron daggers in Skyrim, if y'all remember that. So goes back to picking your perks right and all that we talked about before. So don't pick up everything. The best things to pick up in the game, the best things to hold on to are spacesuits. They're worth the most. You'll get a lot of money for spacesuits, helmets, packs, and then of course weapons. But now they're heavier, so be careful how many of them you get and what you do with them. And you can't scrap weapons to get mods in this game like you could in Fallout 4. I like that. Let's see. Okay, this is great. Where are you going to trade your stuff? Once you get those spacesuits and packs and all that good stuff, where do you go to trade them? Can we have more than one character per account? I am sure we can. I have not done that yet. I am so sorry, Sassy Lady. I've not done that yet. I don't want to tell you, yes, we definitely can, because I haven't tried that yet, but I'm almost positive we can. I've still made myself do the one. Does anybody know that? Has anybody done more than one character that can tell her for sure? I should have tried that. I am so sorry. I've been trying everything else but that. Each new character creates a new save slot. Okay. So it's not like you have this character, this character, this character. It's just a save slot. Okay, there you go. Great. On Vic's still on her first two. Great. I wonder what New Game Plus will be like. I don't know. I'm ready to hear that. I've heard other people making more than one character. There you go. And when's your first stream, Dane? Thank you for asking, Dane. What I wanted to do, I really didn't want to give out any spoilers, and I really want to make it up to y'all. I'm probably going to wait until launch. I really don't want to do it during early, but y'all tell me. Y'all can tell me what y'all think right now. I'm going to do a poll on Twitter as well, but y'all let me know if you think I should do one before launch day, or I just didn't want to spoil it for anybody. That's all. Selling your stuff. Once you get a bunch of stuff, launch day seems appropriate. That's what I was thinking. I sure didn't. I mean, I'm ready to go, but there is one great place, and you'll pass it every time, and you'll be wandering around the streets of a city. When you land at the spaceport, there, in every city that has a spaceport, there is a yellow trade kiosk. It is located right by where the shipmaster is. You can sell anything. You can sell your weapons. You can sell your spacesuits. You can sell your resources. Even stolen goods you can sell there. You can sell everything. If you go on into the cities, there are specific stores, just like, again, other Bethesda games. You'll have a weapon store, a clothing store, and at the clothing store, you can't sell weapons. You can only sell clothes. At the food store, you can only sell food. So you definitely want to stop at that trade store, and they normally have more credits as well. So I think that's a great tip right there to know. And again, even stolen goods. So, by the way, contraband, be very, very careful. The first time you pick up contraband, a warning will go off. But if you have one item, I don't care if it's worth one credit, one item, you will go to jail. Stolen items, no, they can't scan for stolen items, but they can find contraband like that. Stolen items will show up in your menu as with a little red arrow. Contraband, and it's a little bitty, by the way. You have to really look. Contraband has a little yellow or orangish yellow arrow. So be careful about contraband. I already got sent to jail. Y'all don't tell anybody. I was upset because I'm supposed to be the good boy. Here is a tip that most people don't know, and it's a lot of fun, by the way. You can destroy asteroids with your ship And when you do, if you fly close enough after you've destroyed the asteroid, you actually get the resources from that asteroid and they go into the storage of your ship. So, whatever the asteroid had, whether it was iron, nickel, aluminum, whatever it was, uh, you can go mining that way. And it's a lot of fun. So, just find you an asteroid belt and it's a lot of fun. There you go. That's a fun tip there. You got, but you have to fly 500 meters within the destruction, and that's really close, by the way. Let's see. Your extra stuff, just like in uh, Fallout or any other game, but early on, you're gonna want to know where to go because you don't have a house. There's two main places to store your extra stuff other than your companion. Store it. You can store it at the Constellation Lodge. There's a safe in your room at the Constellation Lodge. And a lot of people don't know this. There is actually a storage in the ship that you can store. And I haven't found a limit yet to how much you can put into the ship. It may be unlimited. That's what caused you to rage quit. It was the ship combat that almost caused me to rage quit early in the game. It really did. I had a lot of trouble with it early in the game. Yeah, Noelle said she was going to take me on a tour, and she never did. Uh, I finally found my room, but yeah, I had to find it myself. Don't feel bad. Most people are bad at the ship combat at first. I finally figured it out. I'm gonna give y'all some tips with the ship combat here in the end. So that'll actually be number 21. That's my bonus if y'all want to hear uh, that tip. Let's see. So yeah, the storage inside the ship, it is in the cockpit. When you're walking into the cockpit, on the left. It's just a little lighted box on the side of the wall. Maddie Grace, thank you so much. Hope you're doing good. I appreciate. Thank you for the super chat. That is awesome with the crown. Thank you very much. I'm doing great today. I am. I'm feeling better. I've got Starfield on my screen. That's what I'm going to be doing right after this uh, podcast. And I've got the best subscribers on YouTube. Y'all are awesome. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you very, very, very much. Sassy Lady says, I think that's what's holding me back. I'm not a big space game player. Uh, Again, after the start, there's a few times where you're going to run into it where you'll have to do something, but for the most part, you can avoid it, which is good. Just jump to that menu, and when you jump to your menu, go up to the planet, hit set destination, and it will set the destination for you, and then hit launch. If your grab drive set, it'll fast travel you. And if you're fast traveling, then you won't run into the combat, which is good. Number 14, let's see. Okay, let's go back to the traits for a minute. If you're unsure what to choose on your traits, because we've been talking about it's so important about what to do. This is a really good tip, okay? If you're unsure what to put your skill point on, wait. Don't do it yet, because in just a little bit, you will probably come upon a situation where you run into a persuasion that you need to do, or you'll run up on a situation where you need to be better at something. You'll run into a lock that's more advanced than you are, and you go, boy, I wished I had the skill to do that. Hold on to it, and you might want to do that with more than one skill point. So you don't always have to use it. Sleep often, it heals you, and it gives you 10% experience boost. So remember that. In combat, aim for your enemies Boost packs. Not only does it take them out quick, it's really fun to watch. Remember that. Also, just like in Fallout 4, look for explosive barrels, but they are very cool. And by the way, use your boost pack on planets because it will not run your oxygen down, and you actually go further. Let's see. Number 18. Remember, traits can be removed. If you want to remove a trait, most traits can be removed at the Reliant Medical Surgery Center. Now there are others that you can remove in different ways. The it's not called the parents trait. I can't remember what it's called. It's something about children, but anyway, the one where you have parents, it'll actually give you the option to remove that while you're there with your parents, which is so sad. But anyway, you can actually tell them I don't want you anymore. Uh, so other ones you can remove in other ways. But remember, once you remove a trait, you can't get it back. So if later on in the game you're thinking, boy, I shouldn't have done that trait, you can get them removed. Just remember, Reliant Medical Surgeries. That's where you get traits removed. If you want to level up faster, here's some quick ways. Drink alien tea. There's a good way. Drink alien tea. Explore new areas. Completing missions is the best way early on. Again, scanning planets. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to land anywhere. Just scan a planet. Zoom to it, scan it. It's fast, quick XP. And again, then sleep often. It gives you that 10% boost. And if you have a companion that you are very high up with, it gives you even more. Does anyone know where or how I could store items on my ship? Yes, I was just telling you. Okay. No, don't dump it on the ship floor. Okay. When you walk through the hatch that goes into the cockpit, okay, there'll be two chairs you walk by. Right after you walk by the two chairs on your left, that's your military left, right here. On the wall, there is a lit up panel on the wall. Right there is the storage. If you'll just put your cursor right there on the wall, it will say storage, and you hit transfer, and you can put anything on that you want. So pick up all the stuff off of your ship floor and put it into your storage on your ship. That was perfect timing. We had just gone through that tip. So great. Number 20. This is on your ship as well. If you're going to do ship stuff, improve and repair your ship often. It takes 1,000 credits to repair your ship. Make sure your ship stays repaired. Definitely watch your shield and all that stuff. We can talk about all that stuff. I'm finally getting it down how to work all the ship stuff. Clean up your ship. But you definitely want to improve it. The first thing you want to buy is a new reactor. The reactor will make it where you can put more points to anything you want. So the first thing you want to upgrade on your ship is your reactor. Okay. Y'all can write this down if you want to. Buy a new reactor. It will normally give you probably want to get one that gives you 2 or 3 more points. That means you can do whatever you want to with it. You can make your engines faster. You can make your shield better. You can make your missiles better. You can make your ballistics better. You can do whatever you want. You've got more little lights that you can light up on the little menu down there. Okay. One of the first things I did after my reactor was I got me a bigger shield because I got tired of getting shot so much. So I could put more to my shield. And then I realized this is what you do. And I'm gonna talk about your ship a little bit more. But in ship combat, okay, it's very, very, very simple. You lock onto them first. You shoot them with a missile, normally 2 missiles. Then their shield goes down. Welcome to the King's Crew. Thank you for joining the channel. That's awesome. I wished I had music or something. Y'all are going to have to all sing to yourself. Thank you so much. How do you pronounce your name? Uh, Manga Kai? Manga Kai? Manga Kai, maybe? Welcome to the King's Crew. That is awesome. By the way, anybody can become a member. You can get that great crown. And over time, they actually change colors. So, Manga Key. There you go. I should have known that. Well, thank you for joining the King's Crew. No, thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Um, uh, I love the King's Crew. We're going to do something. We're going to do several special things. We're going to have, and I keep saying this, but we're going to have some special streams, some special live streams uh, with members only, by the way, coming up. Not to exclude those that aren't members, but we got to have something special for the members as well. I was going to do some Fallout stuff with them, but I'm going to get them together and we're going to talk and see what all they would like to do. So we'll do that very soon. Let's see, what was I saying? Okay, in-ship combat, very simple. Okay, you have to get your cursor centered on them long enough where it says locked. Okay, then you shoot them with a missile, normally 2 missiles. That will take their shields down. Okay, then after that, that's when you lay into them with the laser and the ballistics. Okay, the lasers and the ballistics will do nothing until you get the shields down. Duh. Vasco tells you this early on. You know, if you listen, makes a lot of sense. But there's a lot going on when he's trying to tell you this, and he passes you. Yes, it's what. Yes, I know, Jeremy. It's what Vasco teaches you. But I mean, he does it like that, and he goes, "Yeah, you're a pretty good pilot. Even if you do it or don't do it, he just passes you." So be careful. You will get a passing score even if you didn't do it right, like me. But once you learn that, it becomes so much easier. Lasers do eat the shields better. Uh, if you do it in this succession, do missiles first, lasers second, ballistics third. That's even better. I normally lay in the lasers and the ballistics at the same time because why not? Just give them all. Kind of like they would say on Star Trek, you know, give them everything. Give them everything we got. Photon torpedoes, phasers, just give them everything. You know. But no, missiles first, lasers second, and then ballistics next. So you definitely want to get your missiles and your lasers up to get those shields down. That's what makes the fight so long, is them having shields. Okay. Um, let's see, what else can I say in combat that makes it so hard? You might try it in third person instead of first person. I've found it sometimes it's a little easier in third person than it is for first person. Dane says if you hire weapons specialists and assign them to your ship, do they do the shooting? I haven't done that yet. I don't know. I think that would be cool, but sounds like it would be cool. I don't know. That's the next thing I was going to tell you. The Frontier, as you get it, only has a crew of, is it 1 or 2? I mean, it's very low. Yeah, Dane, that's why I was talking about getting a reactor first. That gets it where you can boost everything instead of starting out boosting, you know, your missiles and your grab drive and if you get your reactor, you can put them wherever you want. The first expansion you need to buy for your ship, if you're not going to buy a new ship, but even if you're going to buy a new ship, this is what you need to look for. You need to look for crew size, okay? Because the Frontier is either a 1 passenger or a 2 passenger. And you say, well, I've got a lot more people on my ship than that. Yes, but they don't crew the ship. In other words, you don't have members actually doing stuff. I believe the Frontier is only a one crew person ship. If I'm, it's either one or two. I wished I knew right now. I mean, you actually can assign people to the Frontier, but they're not doing anything. They're not, like Dane says, they're not actually doing anything special on the ship. So when you upgrade your ship, you want to make sure you upgrade the part that actually extends how many crew members you can have on your ship. It does have 3 seats, but what when you're in the shipbuilder, what you need to look for is crew capacity. Um, could be one crew and one passenger. That's why I was thinking two. It may be two. Uh, it's either one or two. I cannot remember. I know I have a lot more than that, Jeremy. That's not what I'm saying. I have a lot more people than that. I even have, I think, 3 people assigned to it. But I'm talking about when you get into the shipbuilder, where it says how many crew do you have on the ship. Frontier either says one or two, and that's one of the first things you want to up. So what I started with was, again, you need to repair your ship, make sure it's repaired. When you're going to improve it, you want to start with your reactor because you can do anything. Then it's up to you where you want to go from there. Uh, it's according to how much credits you have. There are missions out there where you get ships. You can turn into a pirate where you can get ships. Be careful when you're buying parts because some of the parts, if you get into the actual shipbuilding part, you got to buy Class A parts for a Class A ship or a Class C part for a Class C ship. Again, it's very, I mean, some of this is basic stuff if you think about it, but it don't explain it to you, and you might wonder why is that not fitting on there. So, okay, that's basically what I have. And we are about 8 minutes from the end. So, y'all have now the remaining time of the podcast to ask me anything you want, whether it's Starfield or anything else. If there's anything that y'all have got that I haven't answered for you, if there's anybody else that's running around with a ship with stuff all over the floor that wants to ask me a question, y'all can, and I will try to help you any way I can with the few hours that I put into the game. So, does anybody else have a question? I hope those 21 essential tips helped you a little bit. If you didn't get them all, or if we went through any of them too fast, you will have this after it processes. You can go back and have this forever. You can have this KingCast forever. You can just keep it playing on rewind as you, or not rewind, repeat as you play Starfield. When does Starfield 76 release? Hey, that be good? We do have Atlantic City coming up next year. Um, that is, they haven't told us the date when it's coming out, but I can't believe we don't have any new content that they've announced this year. That's crazy, but I know they've been busy with other stuff. But Seth says mods is out, I think, for Starfield. Yes, there's already mods out for Starfield. There absolutely is already some crazy stuff out there. I talked about this before the game was launched. I do want to mention this as y'all are thinking of anything that you might ask. I want to talk about the DLC support and mod support for that matter, but DLC especially, because I know some of us are interested. How long is Bethesda going to take care of this game? How long are they going to be active? Because they're already talking about being on full production for the Elder Scrolls, which is great. By the way, it's not going to take 8 years, y'all. It's not going to take y'all. This is a KingFanMan guarantee. Are y'all getting it? It's not going to take 8 years to get the Elder Scrolls 6. And I say that because it took 8 years to get Starfield because they built an engine. They built a whole new engine, which is what took almost 4 years, or at least 4 years. And Todd Howard said it took a lot longer than they wanted. So half the time of the 8 years was building a new engine. So hopefully in about 4 years, maybe less. I believe it only took 3 years to build Skyrim. Anyway, hopefully we can get the Elder Scrolls 6. But with that said, if they're already working on KingFanMan guarantee, if they're already working on the Elder Scrolls, how long are they actually going to service Starfield and give us content? Are we going to get 3 DLCs? Are we going to get what? Sassy Lady says, I sure hope so because I want Fallout 5. I want to be alive when Fallout 5 hits, Sassy Lady. That's what I want. I would like to be alive when some of these BGS games come out. From what I've heard, not only outwardly, even behind the scenes, and I told y'all this long before Starfield was out, they are trying to do something different, especially with Starfield. I think they'll do it also with the Elder Scrolls 6, but because of Skyrim, people still playing it, 11 years later. But especially because of the size and scope of Starfield, and especially now that it's a hit, they want to give content to Starfield for much longer than they have any other game in their past. So that makes me very excited. All their other games, Fallout 4, Fallout 3, any of their others, it was 3 or 4 DLC, less than a year, 6 months, they were done, off to the next game. It sounds like it's going to be a lot different for Starfield. It sounds like they're going to be doing things for Starfield possibly for years to come. So that is exciting. They have a whole universe to do things with. So why wouldn't they keep coming back to Starfield? That's really great. Sassy Lady says, I want to still have teeth for Fallout 5. Jeremy says maybe they'll have departments dedicated to each IP. I've said that. I made a whole video on that. They need a studio that's a Fallout studio. They need an Elder Scrolls studio, and now they need a Starfield studio. They have 5 studios. Count them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why don't they dedicate 3 of them? Again, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Starfield. You still have 2 to be floating studios, to be support studios, or to do whatever you want to studios. I'm not a developer. I'm just, again, kind of like Joey Cap says, the guy that yells at a microphone, but sounds good to me, and it probably sounds good to y'all as well. Well, guys, do y'all have any more questions of me? If y'all don't, I am Starfield bound. I hope those 20 tips helped y'all today. I really hope they did. If you missed any of them, please go back, because you too might have stuff in the bottom of your spacecraft. Answer my phone. Did I miss you? Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Queen wants to say something. Yes, each game should have support and keep the games coming to fans. Here is my queen. Hi, Queen.
I think you just didn't want to be interrupted, but I wanted you to feel like I was sitting right there beside you.
I do. Hi, Miss Queen. Tell everybody hello.
Hey, everybody. Okay, so listen, I took the dogs out, so it's possible it cut out for a second. Did you see that Maddie Grace gave you a super chat for $5?
I did. I told her very much thank you. Yes.
Okay, that was when I took the dogs out.
And
did you see my comment that your package arrived?
Which one?
Your hat.
My hat. You got to remind me.
The black distressed KingFanMan hat from your store.
That is
and I said everybody needs to go order one. It actually turned out really good.
That is a great way to end the podcast. I want y'all to know there is new merch in the KingFanMan store. One of the things, I wish Psycho was on here. He would love it, and he would go order something right now. I've got the cave
See
cricket.
it later.
I've got the cave cricket line. I've got a whole line of cave cricket stuff. And if y'all have been a member of this channel for a long time, y'all know exactly what that is.
Can
I've
we
got
have some floater stuff? Can we put something about floaters on a shirt?
yeah, you can make a floater shirt if you want to. I've got stickers that say "Why Cave Crickets" and shirts that say "Why Cave Crickets." Kind of like old Indiana Jones, why did it have to be snakes? Well, my whole thing is why did it have to be cave crickets? So they're there. They're in the store. There are T-shirts, long sleeve T-shirts. There are sweatshirts and stickers about cave crickets. So y'all go check them out. Also, will be up very soon. Is after I make sure and inspect this hat, is the new KingFanMan hats.
Oh, it's not up there yet?
It's not up yet.
Well,
No.
it's a really cool hat. It's distressed in black. The crown looks great. Is embroidery the right word?
Yeah,
the
embroidery.
The stitching for the KingFanMan letters is very small, but I still think it works and it's great. I love it. I'm pretty critical of that stuff.
Yes, you are.
I think it's a good buy.
Awesome.
I would order it.
Well, good. You did. Put it on your head.
I know, I did. Go figure.
Vic says, don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you so much. Thank you to the Maddie Grace for giving the super chat. And Manga Key, welcome to the King's Crew. Thank y'all for being here.
Manga's name right. Finally.
Yes,
I'm
I
so
did.
happy.
Thank y'all for being here on the KingCast. Thank you, Queen, for stopping by.
Of course.
We love our subscribers. Y'all have a
We do.
great rest of your weekend. God bless you, and we'll see you next time.
Hey, wait.
What?
And everybody go listen to a Jimmy Buffett song today.
Oh, yeah, we lost Jimmy Buffett, didn't we?
We lost Jimmy Buffett, so the Saturday before Labor Day should be Jimmy Buffett Day. Yeah, everybody have a great weekend.
Bye,
have a
everybody.
Great weekend. We'll see y'all soon.
Bye, y'all.